Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Vin Man Show. Hey, sorry I got a little long-winded yesterday talking about Nestle, my dog, but and I started talking about my best friend. I thought I'd give her a little more time. If it went over it was too much overtime for you yesterday, I apologize. Hey, I'll do a real short one today. And then you say, well, I'd rather have them long. Okay, it's over now. Anyway, you remember Nestle, who I'm talking about all week. There's my girlfriend, Nestle, who's was going to be a guide dog for the blind, and I got to keep her because she failed, and now we turned her into a therapy dog. Anyways, to continue along those lines, um, hey, what? Today it's pretty appropriate because today is March 22nd, the day I'm doing this recording, and I was driving up to. I had to give some blood this morning. When I give it, they had to take some of my blood. Um, I was driving up there to give my blood or have them take my blood. And I was listening to the radio, of course, and they said today is National Puppy Day. I said, I'd never heard of a National Puppy Day. I said, well, that's pretty cool. And they said on the radio, they said, yeah, and they started talking about National Puppy Day, and they had a quote for National Puppy Day. They were talking about a dog. They said, a dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than they love themselves. And I was thinking, you know what? That is so true. And I was thinking, or is it true? The only thing? I was going, wait a minute. Dog spelled backwards is God. And God loves us more than he loves himself. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given his only son to come down here and be tortured to death for us. And so Jesus loved us more than himself because he voluntarily died for us. Hey, folks, I'm not going to preach today, but just think about that. And I was going, hey, that kind of goes along with the dog thing. The dog loves us or you more than they love themselves. And that is so true with the dogs I've had. They just, you could treat them bad and they still just love you, just unconditional love. And that's why they make such good therapy dogs and make you feel good. That's what this show is, the feel good show. I'm trying to make you feel good. I'm not going to be preaching to you today. So anyway, well, I was done. Anyways, I was going up to give some blood this morning or have some blood taken because, like I told you, I had have a little heart issue, and so they want to make sure. They about every month I got to go up and they take some blood and then they look at it and make sure it's not goofing up my kidneys or my liver because I do have to take some pills and yeah. They go, well, yeah, you probably won't die, if you're taking these pills. Like, yeah, I was taking the pills. You go, well, what's the side effects? Well, it could goof up your kidneys or your liver. Oh no, great. I won't die of a heart problem. Then I might die of how ironic. And you die of a kidney or a liver problem. No, I'm not going to die of any of that stuff. Because they said, no, that's a good doctor. He's keeping an eye on that stuff. And my kidneys and liver are doing quite well, thank you. But anyways, I had to go up to for them to take some blood, and then you go. So you gotta wait, and then they call you in, and so she's getting ready to take my blood, and she comes. The vampire comes to me, and she says, "Which arm would you like to have poked today?" And I was going, "Oh boy!" And so I said back to her, said, if you had to lose your eyesight or your ears, which would you lose? Which would you rather give up? And she looked at me like, what are you talking about? And I'm going, hey, you're giving me a choice. Which arm do I want to have poked or, so I'm giving you a choice. He said, no, I'm not giving you a choice. I'm just taking a survey. Just a survey just to see, would you give up your eyes or your ears? And instantly she, oh, I'd definitely give up my ears over my sight. And I said, have you thought about that before? She goes, no, I never really thought about that before. I said, well, you came up to the answer pretty quick. And she goes, and I said, what's the reasoning that behind that you'd give up your ears? And she goes, you know why? So I wouldn't have to hear all this crap that's going, all being said all the time. I think she was talking about the news. And I said, yeah, you're right. You know, and I'd give up my ears over my sight. And then that was kind of an interesting survey. So I surveyed about 10 people um, thus far today, and all of them said, yeah, they'd rather give up their ears than their sight. So that's interesting. So anyways, hey, if you're out there and you'd rather give up your sight over your ears, hey, drop me a line. I'd really like to hear that. Either write me a note on YouTube or Facebook, or hey, you can come to me on my emails if you want. If you want to stay private, come to lbvinman@hotmail.com. That's Long Beach Vinman at hotmail.com. Tell me, because I don't think, I mean, my survey was 10 out of 10 saying they'd rather be deaf than blind. And all of it, you wouldn't want to give up any of your senses. I mean, your mouth, you get to eat candy. Candy's so good. And then you got your nose. And here again, you probably heard of nose candy. If you haven't, well, I'll explain it later. And then, of course, on your eyes, when you see a beautiful woman, you go, ooh, that's eye candy. But if you ever heard anybody say ear candy, I don't think so. Except when you hear some good music, you go, oh man, that's ear candy. And I was telling Milliana Brown, the next share coming around, I was talking to her and I said, yeah, Milliana, I watch you, man. I got the eye candy and the ear candy. And she goes, Uncle Vinny, what are you talking about, ear candy? I said, you never heard that either, huh? So anyway, now, folks, you've all heard of ear candy. You all have heard of candy, nose candy, eye candy, and now you've heard of ear candy. Hey, you learned something new today. Anyway, I told you I was going to keep this real short today, so I'm just going to tell you a joke and say tomorrow. Anyway, because I was thinking, when we're doing this episodes here on the blind guide dog, or guide dogs for the blind, I was thinking, I must have a joke in my repertoire regarding that, and yes, I do. So here's my guide dog blind joke. And these two guys were out walking their dogs, and they're talking and they're walking, and they came across the bar, and they said, "Oh man, let's go in and get a drink." And they said, "Yeah." And then the other guy, oh, "Wait a minute, they're not going to let us in here with these dogs." And yeah, probably won't. So he says, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we put our sunglasses on, pretend we're blind, and pretend these are guide dogs for the blind, and go in and sit down and have a drink?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not sure that'll work." He said, "Well, what's the worst they could do is kick us out and we won't get our drink. But nothing venture, nothing gain. Let's try it." So they go, "Okay, yeah." So they both put their sunglasses on, and the first guy goes, "Well, I'll go first, and if it works for me, then you come in after me." And he goes, "Okay." So the first guy had a German Shepherd, and puts his glasses on and walks in there, and it was like the dog kind of guided up to the bar, and he kind of fumbled around with his hands, and then up with the chair, and then sat down and pretended he was blind and ordered a beer. And the bartender looked down and said, "I guess the guide dog is for the blind," and gave the guy a beer. And so his friend was kind of looking in the door and said, "Okay, I'm going to give it a shot." And so he kind of walks in, feeling his way, and finds a chair and next to his friend, and sits down, and fumbles around, and then the bartender comes up and kind of looking down at his dog, and the guy goes, "Yeah, I'd like a beer also." And he goes, "Are you really blind? I mean, I've never seen a a dog like that is a guide dog for the blind. The guy goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, you know, your dog is a Chihuahua. I've never seen a Chihuahua as a guide dog. He goes, and the guy who's pretending he's blind goes, what? They gave me a Chihuahua? Oh, boy. Anyway, it's hard to come up with a guide dog blind jokes. Anyways, happy National Puppy Day. Think about what I said. I told you I was going to cut it short today because I went way over yesterday. People were saying, don't go so long. But if I got a good subject and I think you're learning something and I'm on a roll, I'm going with it. Anyways, have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Okay, bye.